Hi everyone, I'm Carl, and this is Transformer, Titan Returns, Darkmoon, and Astrotrain. Darkmoon's that headmaster, because he's a headmaster. Yes, who doesn't remember Astrotrain and his famous catchphrase, "Time for some Astro Pain." That's right, it's everyone's favorite Transformer that turns from a futuristic spacecraft to a 18th century choo-choo. Aha! Excellent. What a great guy. Box detailing. They really keen on the fact that his head explodes off his, neck. Which is not typically a good feature, but this time it is. You can read that if you want. I don't care. I've never read it. I haven't read that. I don't even know what it says. Still don't. Yes, this is another in the Titan Returns line. There's what it's gonna look like, probably. You'll have noticed that I have parts falling around in the box. That's because I've already opened it, and the blister does not really contain the guns very well, but that's fine. Let's get a good look at him. And here he is in robot mode, which you saw inside the box, but now it's out of the box. He is blazing white at the moment, probably due to my lights. He's not quite that white in real life if I don't manage to get the color balance a little better. He's more of a pleasant gray. Just notice there is a slight scuff on this, which I'll never get off, but that's fine. Yes, he is a pleasant gray with some very nice intricate details. He is Voyager size, so this kind of detailing is expected, but always nice to have. He has all of the articulation that you would probably expect. Due to the headmaster, he can't do all that much with his head, but he can half-heartedly look around a bit. He can rotate both of his shoulders. You can see he's got this kind of standard, weird shouldery thing. He's got a nice upper arm. He's got elbows that work quite well. He can't spin his wrists, though. No wrist spinning at all. It's illegal. You can flop his arms in if you really want to, but I don't really know why you do that. It's only for transformation. He cannot move his torso at all. That's fine. What do you want? Triple changes often have trouble moving their torsos because, they need that for transformation. He has a hole in his crotch, which is actually for transformation. You might be able to find one that's got a bit better tolerances than this, but it's alright, I don't really mind. Looks like another seam. He's got your standard swivel here. This is really interesting. This is almost, but not quite blocked, and you can move it quite well ranged. I don't know if that's a ratchet in there or not, but it's got a good clicky to it. His knees are a little bit weird. You can see that they kind of split his leg in half, but that's fine. And he does have some semblance of a foot that moves. Blep. Blep. It's not perfect. It is, again, kind of for transformation, but it works. And that's the most important part of any of this. Let's have a look at his guns. Yeah, I'm not even gonna take him up. I'm just gonna stick him in front of the camera and hope for the best. Hey, it paid off this time. That is his chair gun, which obviously the headmaster can sit in. Yeah, I guess he could decapitate himself and then throw his head into his hand chair, but... And this is, I guess, kind of more his normal gun. If I remember correctly... Alpha Train came with kind of like the world's largest gun for no reason at all. You can simulate that by taking the guns. I don't know if he's going to fall when I release him, but he does usually stand pretty well. He's just not supposed to flop all over the place. And then you can just take the guns, and you can see that there's a peg there, so you could plausibly jam this gun in like that, or I guess flip it over, jam it in like that, and now you've got a larger single gun. Which I think is also used for a different mode, potentially, but that's fine. His wings can be put in the traditional sort of Alpha Train. Alpha Train? Sorry, I just did the Alpha Treon video. The Astrotrain way, or you can flip them back if you really want to have a bit more of that for some reason. And, yeah, one thing that I would say you don't really get in this mode, but that's true of kind of all Astrotrains, is, I don't really see a lot of the train kibble on this mode at all. He just kind of feels like a spaceship that turns into a robot. Which isn't a big problem, but it's a minor problem. Alright, let's rip off his head. Here we go. Ready for some Astro Pain? And his head pops off. So while his head's popped off, let's have a quick look at the head itself. Didn't really get a great look at that head sculpt there, but you won't really get a great look at his head sculpt here. There we go. Kind of, I actually like the face. It's almost pouty. I don't know about the Astrotrain. Yeah, so he's pretty good. I like that. The problem with Hasbro's Titan Returns is they don't bother to put any paint on the mini figures here, which is a bit of a shame. Got really cool. He's got like little tiny guns on his little arms here, which is cute. Very cute. And they also look good on the side of Astrotrain's head when we turn him around. His legs tend to stick up. I don't know if it's just this particular mold or if I got a bum figure or not, but yeah. We've gone out of focus. Let's just transform him into Astro mode. And we just kind of have to... This is supposed to go underneath here, and it can do it. It just kind of needs a little bit of convincing to sort of click. It will kind of click when you get it right. It just takes a little bit of pushing. And that's what Astrotrain looks like in his space shuttle mode. Now, you can kind of put the guns where you want to an extent. I can't quite remember where canonically they're supposed to go. I'll jam them in here, because that kind of looks right, and I think that's the correct way. So now we've got this, I mean, I'll be honest, I actually think this is his weakest mode. I think that the purple kind of cuts in okay, but there's so much purple in the back of his mode here that when you look at it, it's a bit, you know, there's a lot of purple, you know. I don't know about this purple. So this capsule thing pops up, and you can jam the headmaster in there if you like. Nothing holding him secure, but he does obviously get locked in. A nice shade of translucent purple there. Or if you want him to ride sidecar, you can, of course. And there are actually, like, kind of clips for him here so that he actually stays. He can ride sidecar on a space shuttle, which seems like a bad idea. Just realized I didn't stick these back in. You can leave these out because they'll kind of look like that. Or we can kind of just jam them in. Unlike my Alpha Treon, this guy does clip really, really well with the headmaster bit there. So that's nice. I mean, do you think that this is a great space shuttle? I don't think it's the most successful. I can see where they're going with it. I can see that it's a space shuttle. Nice Tampo stamped Decepticon logo there in a nice silverish paint. Don't get me wrong, it looks nice. I just think that maybe there should have been more black or white in this general area. It just feels a little off. So then let's take him into train mode, which they took a little bit more literally this time in terms of Astrotrain. Now what it is, it's actually a really nice gimmick with this. Way is we take old Astrotrain here, and we chop him in half. Which is why he has a split in this scene. That's right. He does the world's most impressive set of splits. And there we have a kind of slug-like train. Yeah, he doesn't quite look like, I guess, a regular train, as he does a kind of space train that also is kind of like a slug. He kind of looks like a slug. Can't really unsee that as such. Again, you can jam good old guy in here. I think you can stick these in here. You can stick these guns kind of wherever you want. I mean, you guys don't really need to see the instructions where it says, you can put the guns here. I think they tell you can put the guns in a couple of places. But yeah, you can put the guns in so they kind of look more well-armed. And the train is, due to the fact that the main figure was loaded with details, there are plenty of really nice details that you can see. Probably the biggest disappointment of this train mode is obviously the purple wing. That just kind of just hangs out. I'm a purple wing. It's what I do. Again, you get details that are kind of not that often there. I have done one thing wrong, which I will show you right now, because I obviously just noticed. They have built special little panels for extra train details. Which is really nice, no doubt about it. They can reveal a lot more train detailing with these. Glad I didn't forget. That would have made me feel pretty silly when I watch this later. So then you get a little bit more train detail. You feel like it's a train. Except it's also supposed to be in space because it's an Astrotrain. Frankly, I do think this is, if not 100% successful, he does look really nice in terms of, like, you took a robot, a Voyager-sized robot. Here's a classic Starscream for a little bit of scale. So you took a fairly, you took a Voyager-sized robot, and you made him into a train of this scale and this detail. Which I think is really nice. Usually Astrotrain and most of the other Transformers, there's an obsession with scale, you want them to kind of be close to correct. Well, they decided, you know what, forget it. This time, we're gonna make our train just tiny, but it's gonna be high detail. And I really like that. I think it's a really nice toy design, for children that want to have a train that they can kind of imagine as a kind of giant train, which is cool. It's a really nice touch, and I think it goes a long way to making Astrotrain more interesting. And because I love gimmicks, here is the head release on Astrotrain. When you press the button to kind of, I guess, authenticate the headmaster procedure. Come on. Pull that little switch. Out pops his cool little gun things. Very nice. Very nice. I like that a lot. And that is, that's Astrotrain. A kind of really solid reimagining. There he is next to classic Starscream, so you can kind of get a sense of the scale. He's a Voyager size, as I said earlier. What I really like about him is that in this form, you get this really nice reimagined sort of G1-ish look. It's not slaving to G1, but he is pretty close. I don't think you can overly complain about him deviating too much from whatever you might consider Astrotrain to supposed to be looking like. But on the same hand, he's kind of interesting and experimental in terms of what he transforms into. A little bit of disappointment that the shuttle form isn't perfect. Maybe Takara will do a better paint job on the shuttle. I'm not sure. But I do really like him. He's got a great look in his robot mode, and both of his transformations do have upsize. He's got a good-looking robot mode, or a great-looking robot mode, I guess, depending on how you feel about it. Really nice detailing, and 2 good alt modes. They're not perfect, but one of them's very daring, and the other, if not daring, is at least good, like it does what it's supposed to do. Would I recommend Astrotrain? Sure. He is very nice. I like him. He's a good Voyager-size Astrotrain. The fact that he's a headmaster may or may not bother some people. I don't think it really weakens him as a transformer, and I think the headmaster gimmick is a nice one. He has an interesting transformation, which I don't know if that particular train mode is going to fly well with a Astrotrain purist, since it's about 2 or 3 steps removed. But I definitely think if you're looking for a nice updated toy, especially for the younger, actually kids bracket, I think they'll really get a kick out of the fact that he transforms into 2 quite drastically different scales. And I think that's really nice. This has been Astrotrain with Darkmoon, and I've been Carl. Thank you.